Hello there. Thank you so much for joining us. This is News Channel Nebraska. My name is Eric McKay. Let's take a look at our top headlines today. The White House will be hosting an event called the Make America Wealthy Again event, the first such gathering in the Rose Garden for this administration. President Donald Trump says he's unveiling sweeping new tariffs that he hails as a liberation day. But economists fear the measure could lead to higher prices. Amy Kiley has more on the unveiling.
The president wants to ensure that all Americans make out well, particularly Main Street. That's the focus of these tariffs.
Today, President Donald Trump says he'll transform global trade with sweeping new tariffs. The White House says they will take effect immediately. It's still unclear what the new tariffs entail. What is clear is U.S. businesses would have to pay them. The Trump administration says altogether its tariffs could bring in $6 trillion of revenue over a decade. That would effectively be the largest tax increase in U.S. history, even adjusted for inflation.
I think all of us are anxious to see and will wait to see what the president actually comes out with.
The Senate is set to vote on a resolution aimed at blocking the tariffs on Canadian goods. Republican Senator Rand Paul is co-sponsoring it, along with several Democrats.
You're going to pay more for groceries because we bring in an awful lot of agricultural products.
Economists say tariffs benefit certain domestic manufacturers by landing them more business. On the flip side, that's why they can hurt international producers. Some countries say they're preparing to retaliate while hoping for new trade deals.
We will approach these negotiations from a position of strength. Europe holds a lot of cards.
Measures are taken because measures are taken on the other side, but the dialogue must continue.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Closer to home, a legislative limit on Nebraska's voter-approved minimum wage increase moved on to the next stage of debate, but faces an uncertain future. Nebraska lawmakers voted Tuesday 32-17 to push Senator Jane Raybold's LB 258 to the next level of debate. The bill sets limits on Nebraska's 2022 minimum wage ballot measure, creating a set minimum wage increase as opposed to annual cost of living increases, and caps the wages 14 and 15-year-olds can be paid at $13.50 an hour, going up 1.5% every 5 years. Raybold, whose family owns a number of grocery stores in Nebraska, said Nebraska's minimum wage increase as it is now would be devastating for some small businesses.
The significant increases that I just shared with you have already impacted many mom and pop stores, and some have shared with me that they are closing their doors. By law and in all occupations, 14 and 15-year-olds are limited in so many of the following ways. I'm going to skip that part because I've already discussed all the things that a 14 and 15-year-old are prohibited from doing. For these reasons, many employers resist the hiring of anyone younger than 16. As things currently stand, we are creating a financial hardship for many of our small businesses, including daycare, small rural grocers, and retailers, and many more across our state. It also forces youth out of the labor market. These are both very poor outcomes.
Critics of the bill questioned Raybold's motives for making the measure her priority bill, citing her business, and said the unicameral should respect the will of the people. That minimum wage increase passed in 2022 with almost 59% of the voters in favor. The bill still faces an uncertain future, though, because it's seeking to amend a voter-approved law. It needs at least 33 votes to pass.
When the next severe weather event happens, don't get caught in the dark. Power your kitchen, HVAC, and communication systems with a Jackery solar-capable generator. Just click on our YouTube affiliate shopping tab and you're on your way. And Husker fans, the Explorer series is perfect for tailgating.
Well, after 2 weeks, first hearing complaints about city properties that some criticized as unmaintained, the city council in southeast Nebraska taking steps toward potential official action. Despite some changes in their lineup, Tim Hackett has more.
2 weeks after complaints about unmaintained properties across the city were unofficially filed, on Tuesday night, the Fairbury City Council conducted a public hearing for the council and community to further discuss those concerns. First-term council member Charlie Endorf was in line to lead the discussion as a follow-up to his initial grievance at the previous council meeting, but he was unavailable for this session after he was hospitalized early Tuesday morning. Aldine Goking was the first to come forward, saying she fields multiple complaints about the property next to hers on 5th Street.
I don't think a day goes by that somebody doesn't ask me what's happening to that house next to you. I have put up with this for several years. I have not seen anybody there working on that property for weeks. And I just wonder how long it takes to declare a nuisance.
But Fairbury City Code Enforcer Dan Lufkin says serious progress has already been made and will continue to be made on that unit.
I'm in constant contact with this gentleman, and he's basically waiting for it to warm up, and then he's going to get back at it. I did contact him last Friday about it, and he said he's going to get over there and clean it all up. This had a huge change. It's been released off the condemnation list because he's fixed all those issues.
Michael Root is the owner of one of the properties on 3rd Street across from the sheriff's office that has long been one of the more scrutinized stretches of land, especially in Endorf's initial address 2 weeks ago. The primary concern is with the dozen-plus vehicles that are spread throughout the yard, but Root claims he's followed all the proper procedures.
I carry 17 cars on my insurance policy. Yeah, I hear everybody complain. It's like, they're tagged and registered and insured. And if anybody wants to see it, I will show you in my insurance policy. I like vehicles. I'm sorry.
The city's concern appears to be less with the vehicle's registration status and more with their presence on the property itself. The council did not take any specific formal action Tuesday, aside from conducting the public hearing session. In Fairbury, Tim Hackett, News Channel Nebraska.
A Northeast Nebraska man is accused of uploading nude photos of young girls to the internet. 22-year-old Kobe Rohn faces 2 counts of child pornography. The State Patrol says the investigation started in October after a 17-year-old girl in Boone County said images of her were posted to a pornography website. Investigators say they found more images and photos of underage girls linked to Rohn. Further investigation revealed the pictures and videos were uploaded from Rohn's phone. He was already in jail on unrelated charges. He's been ordered held on $100,000 bond ahead of his next court appearance in Madison next week. A county sheriff asking people to stay alert, especially in rural areas, because of an increase in copper thefts. York County says they've already seen 2 instances of people stealing copper wire from pivots. The sheriff there asking folks to keep their eyes out when cars are driving through the country for any vehicles that look out of place. Because of the high price of copper, there may be more reason for someone to try to swipe some of the wire and sell it. The more time law enforcement has to look into something, even slightly suspicious, they say that gives them a better chance at prosecuting a crime. Central Nebraska's largest hospital raising a special flag in an effort to highlight its ongoing efforts to give the gift of life through organ donation. CHI Health St. Francis in Grand Island has received the HRSA Platinum Award for the 3rd straight year in recognition of its initiative to help those in need.
It can really give value to those who have lost a loved one and realize, again, that they live on in others and that gift of life continues. So it really was something we felt like we could benefit all involved with our focus upon this initiative.
Hospital officials added the initiative has grown in recent years and they hope to continue to increase the amount of people on the organ and tissue donor list.
I think there's a recognition that it's such an important gift to give others. So we've always had, of course, a focus on life here at CHI St. Francis for 138 years. But this was an opportunity really to take that to the next level.
Last year in Nebraska, over 300 people received life-saving organ transplants. Thousands more received tissue transplants. And finally, law enforcement and first responders often face high-stress situations and are at increased risk for mental health issues like PTSD, depression, and anxiety, but it's not often talked about. A police officer in Valentine looking to change that, though. Casey Wannenberg shows us how she's using her own story to start a conversation about mental health.
684. I'll be 10-8 with Braylon.
2 years ago, Valentine police officer Jasmine Hafes wasn't sure she'd ever patrol the town she loves again.
Getting used to what everyone's driving again.
In December 2022, Hafes responded to a medical call during a blizzard. That's when a front-end loader backed over her.
You're sitting there thinking, there's no way. Like, this is it, and And all I could think of was wanting to say goodbye to my kids.
Thankfully, Hafes survived, and now she's back, both as an officer and as a mom.
She loves us a bunch and she's really kind.
But Hafes' journey hasn't been easy. She suffered severe injuries to her face and arm. The pain wasn't just physical, but also mental, something her then police chief told her she'll remember forever.
She said, you know, when are you going to let yourself mourn the person that you lost? You don't think of that. I didn't think of that, you know. I was alive, so I didn't really consider myself to be lost, but it did. It did change me. It changed my body. It changed, you know, how I perceive things.
Hafes suffered from PTSD, which sadly isn't uncommon in law enforcement. According to health psychology research, 1 in every 7 police officers worldwide deals with PTSD or depression, and 1 in 10 faces another mental illness.
You know, another thing about law enforcement is we're really bad about talking about our mental health, you know. We're the tough guys and gals. We put on the brave face.
That's why she's doing something about it. She started a group called Unrefined Restoration, an officer's journey back to the line. It's a space not only to honor law enforcement who've suffered injuries while on duty, but also create a peer support group.
Someone understanding that you have your mask on now, but when you're ready to take that off, I'm here for you to talk to, and it's a safe place. And that is huge.
Now as Hafes patrols the town she fought so hard to serve again,
we have an amazing town.
She's also making sure other officers know they don't have to fight their battles alone.
We never want the other person to feel alone.
In Valentine, Casey Wannenberg, News Channel, Nebraska.
And you can stay up to date with the very latest by following us online. Head to newschannelnebraska.com and click on the News tab there. You can also follow us on X, like us on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.